Um, I guess for me a struggle would be the concept of the strong, beautiful Barnard woman, which is something that everybody knows and everybody says when you first get here. But just because you feel like there's something that you're supposed to be doing and there's a certain way of doing that. So the struggle comes with if you're doing things but you don't feel like it's enough, or you feel like everybody else is doing so much more than you and why aren't you doing the same thing. And that was a struggle, just to be able to be confident that what you're doing is sufficient for what you want to do.
And like I remember just 2 weeks ago maybe, I was speaking to a first year student, and I was just like genuinely interested in finding out what she was involved in on campus, and she was shy about it. She was like, well, I'm not doing much, like, you know, I just do work and I study, and on weekends, like, I just hang out with friends. And I'm like, well, I mean, I remember telling her, and then she asked me what I was involved in, and she's like, you're like the ideal Barnard woman. And I'm like, no, honestly, I was not this person that I am last year to begin with. And then secondly, you'll find whatever it is that you want to get involved with, and then you'll be great at it.
And if you wear your Barnard shirts or power walk
around the street, you will always, I have never not gotten stopped. I can be anywhere, and I will, someone will be like, I was once in Israel, and someone was like, I was wearing a Barnard shirt, and someone was like, oh my gosh, I went to Barnard too, and I was like, we're 3,000 miles away. I'm like, you know, there's still that Barnard connection, which is great.
The greatest thing for me about Barnard is that it's designed to create specifically women leaders. The reality in this world is that to be a female leader takes different things because the way things are set up and the glass ceilings that we have to break. So being surrounded by a community of strong female leaders just in and of itself provides you with role models. Every class I'm in, I am surrounded by strong female role models. In places like the Well Woman Office, where all the books provide you with the stories of strong female leaders and how they got where they are. And it's just the way the community is built is one of the greatest parts about being an all-women's college. Is it's specifically for you, and it's going to turn you into a woman leader.
It wasn't actually my RA that pushed me as much as an RA from a couple floors down, but I was able to get to know her really well and see how well she helped the community and helped to bring it together and helped me to feel a part of the community, which is something that I had kind of missed out on my floor. And that really encouraged me to want to do something where I could be in a position to help people transitioning into college, figure out what they wanted to do and feel like a part of something bigger, and not seem so lost and know the different activities or the different organizations that were out there to help you. I was definitely a very active member in Barnard organization of Soul Sisters, which is an organization on campus that caters to young minority women to kind of help them integrate in a different way, because coming to a college it's a different type of experience being a minority woman. And I remember going to the first meeting and just feeling so welcomed and supported there. And that just made me, again, want to be able to give back to the organization that had helped me become such an active member of my community.
I remember being in high school, and I went to a really small school, and like many Barnard women, I was very active in student government and many different activities. And I remember the principal of my high school, like on my last day, he looked at me and he told me, Stephanie, when you get to Barnard, leave your mark. And then I came into Barnard, and I definitely wasn't a leader, or maybe didn't realize what I wanted to be involved in. So I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not leaving my mark in Barnard. I'm overwhelmed with classes, with professors, with everything. I don't think I can handle being a leader in this campus. I'm gonna let everyone down back in my high school, back at home. So I was just really nervous just because I saw how involved everyone was on campus and how active everyone was, and I was just like, I don't think I can be a leader here. I don't think I can leave a mark. So really I was just nervous about what to get involved with and what to partake and be a leader with. So I was part of the Emerging Leaders Program, which is a year-round program for first-year students, and it really just trains students to how to be effective leaders, how to lead organizations, how to navigate the college community, and it was just extremely helpful. I wasn't involved in 50 activities last year, which was my first year, but just being in the Emerging Leaders Program just drastically helped me how to think about the next 3 years and how to plan for the next 3 years in terms of how to lead both clubs on campus, how to lead things that I'm passionate about.
So I think it's definitely just, going after what you want, and things will just happen. And I think it's important to realize how much you gain from each experience that you have that you don't necessarily reflect on at the time. But now looking back over my 4 years, I can really see how each experience shaped me and prepared me for the next one. Student government creates student policies, we do student programming, we act as a governing board, so we fund all Barnard clubs. I actually work very closely with the administration, so Dean Hinkson, and lots of different administrators and offices on campus, basically just to bring student opinions to the administrators, talk about what students need, what students want, and then also make students aware of all the different opportunities here on campus.
Actually, on SGA, one of our rep councils, and that relates to the question of mentorship, one of our rep councils, whenever, I remember in the beginning of the year when we were planning for the year, she just said, she was like, I would like for every single SGA member, whenever they start talking, to not say sorry when they begin a sentence, to not say, I'm sorry, but, she's like, you embrace whatever your comment is, and there's no need to apologize for your comment. And that, just seeing how assertive other women are on campus is really empowering, both in terms of being a woman. It just helps you feel all that confident, and just seeing other women embrace womanhood on campus is in itself a mentoring project that goes on in your everyday conversation.
When I first got here, you could definitely see the difference between the first year students and the seniors, and actually the progression from a first year student to a senior. And you would look at the different people in organizations and wonder, how did you get there? Why do I feel so different from you? But then throughout all your classes, listening to these motivated women who have done such amazing things already in their lives, and you're like, when did you have time to do this? I was in high school, I had classes, and I was doing sports, but you were saving the world, and it's just amazing to see such dynamic women working together, and it's definitely a culture that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
I think that, and something I think my parents have been huge role models for, is if you want to do something, you can make the time. And maybe that means that you're going to stay up a little later at night and be a little bit more stressed, but I think at the end of the day it's worth it, because you come out having such unbelievable experiences. I think that, as everyone has mentioned before, Barnard is so supportive of everything. I think both the administration, the faculty, advisors, your friends are a huge support system, because they understand what you're going through. They'll stay up with you till 2 in the morning because they're also writing their thesis.
And I had a professor who told me that every time that I wrote a paper, he would correct it, and then we could go over it line by line until I could figure out what it was that was making that would help to improve my writing. And it's just this idea of having somebody there to support you, but not even just that, but to help you figure out how to support yourself. And I feel like that's something that you couldn't get anywhere else, but in a women's college, and especially at Barnard.
Just go for it. Join the clubs, and don't be afraid to raise your hand and sign up for things, because even if you don't know what you're doing, there is a strong, beautiful Barnard woman.
Don't let anyone tell you that you don't have time for it, because you can make time if it's something that you want to do.
I'd say find what you're interested in and put your whole self in it. I think that's the only way to do it, and it's the only way to really enjoy it.
So whatever it is in all fields of life and college and leadership involvement, it's going to be difficult managing everything, but just embrace that, because that's why we're beautiful, strong Barnard women, because we don't believe in limits.
And try as many things as you have time for, or you even find it the slightest bit interesting, because I'm involved in things now that I didn't know anything about in high school, just by passing them on campus or going to a meeting on a whim.